went back in time to kill the evil from the future. Korin Loch said to himself, the four great treasures of the heroic legend of Arhan are Leofail, Aredbear, Undry, and Klaus Solas. The original owner of Klaus Solas was Nuada Ergetlam said to Angus, I shall give you your last trial, heir of the sun. Korin Loch said to himself, the king of the gods, Nuada Ergetlam. Korin Loch sweated and muttered, as expected, Nuada is the last one. The first trial was unpredictable, so I prepared the head of the monster Mata and tried to lure Dagda, who gives easier trials, to appear. Contrary to my expectations, someone strange, Angus, came forth. On the other hand, as Angus stepped back to the portal, Korin Loch said to himself, the last trial is predictable. I have the son, Klaus Solas, and Nuada is the original owner of Klaus Solas. Well, even if I predicted it, the amount you can prepare for something like this is limited. After all, in the game you cannot acquire Klaus Solas. Although, since the last trial was always completed through force, I brought the 3 strongest people I could to help me with it. However, as Angus watched from the other side of the portal, he was being pecked on the head by Huarin, Mariette Dunalef, and Alicia. Wearing 3-dimensional glasses and eating popcorn, Angus said to Korin Loch, good luck. Korin Loch gave him the finger and muttered, the more I think about it, the more irritated I get. Nuada Ergetlam said, do not get distracted. Where are you looking? Ha! The trial has already started. The great warrior Shreng was about to strike Korin Loch. As Shreng swung his sword, Korin Loch dodged and groaned, Kyuk! Nuada Ergetlam said, in the past, the first beings to be born on this land were the giants. After that were my godkin, the Tuatha De Danann. Third came the spawn of the dark and the night, the demons. The fourth is your kind, the Goidel, or humans. The opponent you must defeat is the great warrior Shreng, a demon. The great warrior Shreng shouted in fury. Nuada Ergetlam said, the Moitura Plains is both the place where I defeated the great warrior Shreng and where I lost my arm. If you brought Klaus Solas here, you must be aiming for my left arm. In order to utilize the sun properly, this is a necessary item for you. Now face the great warrior Shreng and feel your helplessness. Goidel. As the great warrior Shreng leaped toward Korin Loch, Korin leapt to meet him. The great warrior Shreng swung his sword, but Korin Loch managed to dodge. Korin Loch said to himself, the trial in Mag Mell is a trial from the gods meant to help ordinary players grow. They create stages from their own experiences and teach players lessons through them. Because players cannot obtain Klaus Solas, this is my first time seeing Nuada's trial. Considering the setting of this world, I can infer what intention lies behind giving such a trial. What power? Great warrior Shreng is a demon warrior so strong that he managed to cut off Nuada's arm. So through this trial, what Nuada wants to confirm is the power I have built up until now. And in this, power is not the same thing as strength. Korin Loch raised his hand and unleashed his runes. Kinaz, Hagalas, Burkinan, Sowilo. As he inscribed the marks upon the body of the great warrior Shreng, Korin Loch said to himself, in terms of speed, I am faster. Suddenly, the great warrior Shreng exploded and burst into flames. Korin Loch said to himself, after repeated training, I am able to inscribe this runic magic combo this quickly. This is runic magic on the level of advanced fire magic. He will not be able to escape easily. But as Korin looked behind him in shock and confusion, the great warrior Shreng suddenly raised his sword and roared, Ooh! Korin Loch said to himself, he is actually completely fine, but his techniques are too monotonous. Korin leapt aside to evade and then unleashed his skill. Ominous serpent. The attack struck Shreng's chest. Korin Loch said to himself, holy shucks, it got stuck inside his muscles. As Korin jumped back, he cursed under his breath, Tisk. Korin Loch thought to himself, rune magic is not working, and I have lost my spear. Ordinarily, I would be at a loss, but I have not just been running around aimlessly. The reason I was using runes from the start was for this. As Korin Loch remembered what Aaron Danua said, he understood the training's purpose. It was meant to extend the time you can use the sun, even if only by a few seconds. Korin Loch asked, is it even possible to handle the sun on my own right now? Aaron Danua replied, in the Druid's secret realm, there were runic spells that had been inscribed over several days, and in Nazria, there were runes that had been inscribed over 300 years, so it was possible. Korin Loch said, the reason I can even use the sun now is because Shadow Paradise is filled with mana. Aaron Danua said, no, try to recall it. I already saw it clearly through Ariu's eyes. In order to save everyone, you already, with your own power, used the sun. Suddenly, Korin Loch surged with the power of the sun. He activated his skill. Klaus Solas, activation. He formed a huge ball of light and power. A system notification announced Cloud Solas, Solar Convergence. He hurled the attack at the Great Warrior Shreng. Suddenly the skill deactivated, and Korin Lok was shocked and confused. He sweated and thought, the sun disappeared? Did the activation time already end? No, it has not even started. The only one who can control the sun besides me, it cannot be. Nuada Ergetlam. Korin Lok looked up at Nuada Ergetlam. Nuada Ergetlam said, I told you already, do not get distracted. The Great Warrior Shreng suddenly appeared behind Korin Lok and swung his giant sword. Korin glanced back, shocked and confused. The Great Warrior single-mindedly followed the destiny he fulfilled in the past to cut off his opponent's arm by any means necessary. Korin fell to the ground as his arm was severed and cried out in pain. Kyuk, kyuk, he thought desperately. Stop the bleeding. He tried to use his skill, Kinaz, to cauterize the amputation. Nuada Ergetlam said, Did you think you could cauterize it by burning it? What a shame. Korin looked at Nuada Ergetlam and realized, the sun does not permit that. Korin sat up and asked, Was this your plan from the start? Nuada Ergetlam said, The throne of the God King, ruler of the Danann through generations, can only be inherited by one with an unblemished body. Not even a single wound is permitted. I lost my arm to the Great Warrior Shreng, and as a result I had to abdicate the throne. But I was happy. I had opened the era of the gods after defeating all the demons, so my mind was peaceful even if I had to stop being the God King. Until you Goidels ended the era of the gods and turned my achievements and grand ambitions into nothing. Danann of Justice, Erin Denua, this trial began when she sent you here. Most of the gods in this place are in agreement with the Danann of Justice, but not all of them. Korin Lok whispered, No. Nuada Ergetlam said, That is right. I despise the current era you Goidels have created. Nuada Ergetlam raised his sun sword, Klausolas, and proclaimed, I, Nuada Ergetlam, have awaited this era not for these disgusting demons, nor for you weak Goidels, but for Tatez Balthazar, the true last Danann. Thanks for tuning in. I truly appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to watch this video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you enjoyed what you saw, consider sharing my videos or channel with your friends who might also enjoy it. Your support means the world to me and helps my channel grow. Let's keep this community thriving together. Until next time, see you in the next video.